Today, we're diving into a powerful story about what happens when your entire world collapses. It's a story of betrayal, yeah, but it's also about survival and about discovering a kind of strength you never knew you had right when everything solid turns to dust.
So let's just drop right into the world of our protagonist, Nina. This one sentence tells you everything you need to know. The stakes are impossibly high from the get-go. She hasn't just been left. She's been completely abandoned, pregnant, vulnerable, and with practically nothing to her name.
So, how did she even get here? Let's take a look at the exact moment her life was taken apart, piece, by the one person who should have been protecting her. Get this is the line her husband, Igor, feeds her. It's not some crime of passion, it's cold. It sounds like a memo from HR, right? He's not just having an affair, he's framing the end of their marriage like it's a strategic business move, a personal upgrade. And Nina? She's just left to deal with the fallout. And you can just see the chasm that's opened up in her life. On one side, you have the world she just lost, this glitzy promise of expanding horizons, all about status and what turned out to be a very superficial kind of love. And on the other side, her new reality, bare survival in a cold, lonely house, where the only thing she hears is the echo of that betrayal. So, cast out from the city, Nina's only option is a place she hasn't been to in years, her grandfather's abandoned house in this tiny, remote village called Sosnovka. It is a harsh new world for sure, but it's also where her journey of rebirth really begins. But, this shelter is anything but welcoming at first. Just imagine, you're 7 months pregnant and you show up to this, an old house that's been sitting empty for months, literally frozen solid. The wind is just relentless, the silence is deafening, and her entire life savings? Just 3,000 rubles. Her first challenge is literally just making it through the night. And just when that isolation feels like it's going to swallow her whole, there's a knock on the door. It's her elderly neighbor, Baba Shura. And she doesn't just show up with hot food, she brings a human connection, a warmth that starts to chip away at the ice that's formed around Nina's heart. Baba Shura also introduces her to someone else, a really key figure, named Ilya. He's the village carpenter, and he's this study in contrasts. He's got golden hands, an incredible craftsman, but a worm-eaten soul. He's completely haunted by a terrible tragedy that took his own family. He's a man whose grief runs just as deep as Nina's. So when Ilya offers to help, what does Nina do? She pulls back, hard. We'll be strong. We don't need anyone. That becomes her mantra. I mean, it makes sense, right? After being so deeply hurt by one man, she decides the only way to protect herself and her baby is to build these massive, impenetrable walls. Trust is a luxury she just can't afford anymore. But of course, just as she's starting to carve out some kind of fragile existence for herself, the architect of all her pain finds her. Yep, the past is not quite done with her yet. It's a sound that just doesn't belong there in the quiet of Sosnovka. It's the roar of an expensive car engine. It's the sound of Igor's world, the polished, ruthless world that chewed Nina up and spat her out. His arrival just shatters the tiny bit of peace she's managed to find. So why is he even here? Is he sorry? Nope. It's about this number, 25 million rubles. Turns out his wealthy uncle died and left him a huge inheritance. With one catch, he has to have a legal heir by April. And suddenly, Nina isn't a person to him. She's just an incubator for his payday. And Nina's response? It is just absolute. After everything, this is the one line that cannot be crossed. Faced with this disgusting proposition, she finds a core of steel she probably didn't even know she had. Her child is not and will never be a commodity. Okay, so that confrontation, it was the spark that lit the fuse. What happens next is this incredibly intense, dangerous night where all these lives are pushed right to the edge during a blinding blizzard. Nina is just raw from the whole thing, and she lashes out at Ilya, rejecting his help one last cruel time. And for Ilya, who's already on the edge, this is the final push. He gets drunk, gets into his old truck, and just drives straight into the raging storm. It's a desperate flight into nothing. And that desperate drive? It ends exactly how you'd fear. He gets to this old, rotten bridge over the Kamenka River. The planks just give way, and the whole truck plunges into the icy black water below. A life already shattered by tragedy is now seconds away from being extinguished. And in this crazy, stark twist of fate, at the very same moment Ilya's truck is plunging into that icy water, the stress of the whole day sends Nina into premature labor back in her little cabin. One life is about to end, just as another is fighting to begin. So you have this incredible parallel playing out. As Babashir is helping Nina give birth to her son, Matvey, villagers are pulling Ilya from the wreckage of his truck. He's barely breathing, just clinging to life by a thread. Wow. Okay, so that night was a pressure cooker. It broke things, for sure, but it also forged brand new beginnings right out of the wreckage. In the aftermath of that storm, the lives of everyone involved were completely and forever changed. So here's how things shake out over the next few months. On April 15th, Igor's deadline comes and goes. He loses the inheritance. Around the same time, Ilya miraculously wakes up from his coma. By May, he starts finding a new reason to live with his nurse Olga. And come August, Nina finds a quiet, stable love with Stepan, the village policeman, and they form a new family with baby Matvey. And you really see this kind of karmic rebalancing, right? Igor, the man driven by cruelty and greed, ends up with absolutely nothing. His own actions echoed back and left him empty. And then there's Ilya, whose life was defined by pain, who lost everything. He manages to find a path toward healing and a new beginning. And this right here is what Nina finally understands. It's her ultimate realization. She learns that real love isn't about finding someone to save you when you're drowning. It's not a life raft. It's about finding someone you can build with. It's the slow, steady, honest work of building a shelter together. So in the end, Nina's transformation wasn't about running away and finding some perfect, painless life. It was about turning around and facing the pain, not just her own, but the pain in others too. And she discovered that real connection is forged in that messy, difficult, but incredible work of healing together. And that really leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? Nina's journey forces us to think about what true strength really is. Is it building walls so high that no one can ever hurt you again? Or is true strength found in having the courage to tear those walls down? Not just for yourself, but to reach out a hand and help someone else heal too.